Are that us? Are we ready? So delighted to welcome my next guest, Eileen McCourt. We heard from Eileen about a month ago, and she's come back again. It's good to see you, Eileen.
You too.
You managed to break out of the hill
Well, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't as bad as yesterday. I'm only Warren Point, but I'm up at the top of the hill, so no, it wasn't too bad. No, it wasn't too bad.
Maybe this is from your book. I want to read this to the people.
Yes.
The Sioux Indian Prayer, or a Sioux Indian Prayer, from Margaret's book. I beg your pardon, Margaret. That's a Freudian slip of Margaret Herdman we were thinking of, by Eileen McCourt. A most beautiful book, beautiful cover, and angelic wings. The unicorn is there. The little creature is there in the woods. But here we go with a Sioux Indian prayer from your book, Eileen. O great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the wind, and whose breath gives life to all the world, hear me. I am small and weak. I need your strength and wisdom. Let me walk in beauty and make my eyes ever behold the red and purple sunset. Make my hands respect the things you have made, and my ears sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise that I may understand the things you have taught my people. Let me learn the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. I seek strength not to be superior to my brother, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Let me always be ready to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes. So when life fades, as the fading sunset, my spirit will come to you without shame. Sioux Indians.
Beautiful. Yes.
Wow, it's lovely.
Beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
It is gorgeous. Gorgeous. And the book is beautifully written. You have a second one that's kind of getting ready to come.
Yes, it's getting ready to come out.
And how is it a continuation on the spiritual journey? Does it take us to a higher level?
Yes, it takes to a higher level in that it's called Working with Spirits, Guided by Angels.
Wow.
That's the next one. It starts off with the God of my childhood, Rowan, which, like you, was probably a very terrifying God.
Well, he was going to put me into hell.
Yeah. I was definitely on the train for hell, definitely.
He most certainly did not do what you do in your book, in your opening, in the introduction. I send you love and light.
No,
Namaste.
Like that.
There was none of that.
But do you remember the catechism, Rowan?
Yeah.
Well, the first question was, who is God? Do you remember the answer?
God, our Father in heaven.
Who lives in heaven, right.
Yeah, I beg your pardon.
There was no mention of him being around us in nature or in the person next to us. He lived in heaven. And I remember about 6 or 7 years, I thought, how do we get to him? We had to go into the chapel to talk to him.
No.
You know, it was, And I remember I was educated by nuns in Portadown Primary School, nuns, right, presentation order. And I remember one girl asking the nun one day, what's mortal sin? Do you remember we're told around a mortal sin, you got a big black stain on your soul?
Oh, yeah, indeed.
And a venial sin was a wee smaller stain on your soul. And we never knew where our soul was. It was somewhere in there. And I remember the nun said, anything you wouldn't like your parents see you doing, that was a mortal sin. So I thought, oh my God, I pick my nose. Everybody picks their nose.
Yeah, I do.
So I remember confessing my first confession. You remember that, bless me, Father, for I've sinned.
And you're 7 years of age.
Yes. I picked my nose, Father, but I can't remember how many times I did it.
Yes.
And I really thought if I picked my nose without confessing, I was going to go to hell. We all did, Rowan. That was the way we were brought up, and it was a terrifying God and a punishing God.
Yeah, we were in slavery to an awful God.
Yes, we were. He was terrifying.
Yeah.
You know? But now, the next chapter then is the God of my present day. A totally different, the transition.
Take me to the moment when it all started to change for you. Was it in Portadown when you felt this can't be right? Or what were the circumstances that allowed you to say, what I'm getting is not suitable for me, I'm going to find another way?
It was, well, I studied history in UCD, I got a master's in history, right? And a lot had to do with that when I began to realise that the church to which I had professed to be a member, right? They taught in the Middle Ages that the world was flat. And when you came to the end, you went down over the end.
Yes.
Then, I began to realise the world's not flat, they're wrong in that.
Yeah.
They also taught that the sun revolved around the earth.
Copernicus.
Yes, so they were wrong in that too.
So they're wrong in that as well.
Yeah. Then I began to realise, well, what else are they wrong? Then I began to realise all the wars throughout the centuries have been because of religion.
Yeah.
Christians fighting.
What age were you when you started this analysis?
Well, I was schooling in Donmore, St. Joseph's outside Dungannon, and it was there. I began to realise, the Catholic Church hasn't got all the right answers.
No.
And then when I took that further in UCD, it just developed over a period of time, Rowan.
Yeah.
I was always very religious. I was a very, very devout mass goer because that was the way I was brought up.
Yeah, of course.
But I never really, I didn't come out of mass feeling, wow, up top of the world after it.
But sometimes you might have done. If you got the right priest, the right sermon, the right attitude.
But I never seemed to. It was always thump, thump.
No,
Do
no.
you remember the missions towards
Oh,
Easter
yes.
every year? There would be a week for men, a week for women,
That's
and a week
right.
for children. And it was all fire and brimstone again, Rowan.
Yeah.
That's all we were ever used to.
So what governs
was,
the life of the new Eileen McCourt? If the fire and brimstone doesn't exist,
it doesn't,
as a
Rowan, no. And
reality,
hell to me doesn't
what
exist, or
governs
purgatory
your
doesn't
life?
exist. The fact that God is all loving and all forgiving, and that He is not interfering in our free will, we are not predestined to do anything, that He is, everything is as it should be. We're not going to be punished, there is no punishment, there is no scales when we die. You put up on one side and the scales go up or down the other, and then whichever way you're sent.
Well,
there's none of that, Rowan, and
how does one then, how do you know that's right?
your gut instinct feeling, because God is good. If something makes you frightened or fearful, Rowan, it cannot come from God. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore it is not good. God, G-O-D, G-O-O-D. The word God is incorporated in the word good.
The difference, yeah.
And the word evil is incorporated in the word devil. If something frightens you, Rowan, it is not coming from God. It cannot. If something doesn't make you feel good, it cannot come from God.
But God for you isn't a kind of person, it isn't an entity that you
No.
can look at, touch, see, communicate with in
No.
that way.
God to me is everything that ever is, that ever has been, and that ever will be.
Where did
God
I
is
where did I hear that
everything.
before?
I don't know.
That's in a Bible somewhere.
Is it? I don't know.
I am who am kind of
I
sentiment.
am that I am
You know,
that I am.
That's in there.
That's your powerful I am presence.
Yeah.
You are a spark of the divine. You are.
I would love to believe that, but I don't know.
But you are, Rowan.
Yeah, how does one know anything about anything that you can't
Well,
see and can't
inherently,
touch?
you know that you're more than just that body, Rowan. You must know that. There's
I
more
do.
to
I
being
think
just
so.
this body.
I think so. Yeah, I do.
So
think
therefore, there is a spiritual light inside you which has been around for all eternity and will be around for all eternity to come. You never stop evolving until you arrive back, eventually, at the highest form of energy, which
And you
is
can't.
Christ consciousness.
Let me try and take it into my realm of understanding. I can't be possessed of an energy for good or evil.
There are evil energies around, yes. There
I
are.
can't be possessed. The notion of the spirit being there, it can't just flit in and perch on the tree of my life on the Monday
No.
and then be gone on the Friday.
No, it's always
It's
there.
always surrounding.
And that is
It's like
the only...
it's the aura thing we talked about.
That's right. That is the only way you can exist. You can't exist through the physical, you only can exist through the spiritual.
Yes.
It's the spiritual that gives a meaning to your life and that
But
makes
if
you
one
the
was
person you
concerned
are.
about the spirit, the physical, it would be a very disappointing journey because we all start
there's
to
nothing to it.
slip
It's
and
very
slide.
shallow,
and
isn't it?
We
Yeah.
disappear.
Yeah.
I often say when people grimace and worry about the prospect of death, I often say, rest assured that very, very often in the sphere of the normal, the man who dies isn't the man who lived. The body is changing.
But there's no such thing as dying, Rowan. You're just changing, yes, you're evolving to a different form of energy. We're all energy. For example, take the wave in the sea.
Yes,
Before it becomes a wave, it's in the sea.
it is.
And then it builds up as a wave, comes to a crest, and then crashes. It's no longer a wave, but it's still in the sea.
It is, of course.
Same with the cloud. It's an energy form. It changes. Everything changes. When we die, we just simply change energy form.
I hope you're right.
But do you not know that, Rowan?
I don't
You're an
know
old,
it.
wise soul. You've been here many, many times before, and I've told you this before. You must know that.
I
you
sense it. Let me say, I
Well, then,
sense this.
yeah.
Is that knowing it?
That's knowing it, yes. Because why do we have to only use our 5 physical senses in order to know something?
Well, I couldn't. At the moment,
know?
I couldn't define for you the theory of relativity, for example.
I
So
couldn't either.
how can I even begin to guess at being able to understand and to contemplate the wonderment of having more senses than those I can obviously embrace? There must be so much more.
There is so much more. They're only the physical ones. But you must know, Rowan, you must know deep inside you. And as well as that, very often you'd maybe walk along the road or you'd be reading something and you'd say, goodness, I've known this before.
Yeah.
Because we are a collective. As we come through each lifetime, we collect our beliefs with us and we come. What you are now, you are an amalgamation of everything that you were before.
Yes.
We don't go backwards.
No.
We only progress
and
forwards.
Is the progression in the direction of the centrality, if you like?
Yes.
The Godhead.
Yes.
May I call it a Godhead?
You call it God. The Godhead is in you. The Godhead is in all of us. Yeah, the Godhead. Yeah. That's where we're all going back to. And every soul, no matter how depraved that person has been in this life, no matter what evil they've committed, they are a precious soul, Ron, and they must and they will be saved, and they will end up back with the light. It'll take them longer, maybe, because there's more to learn, but they will end up back with the light. That's another thing. Do you remember the Catholic Church used to teach that there was purgatory and there was limbo?
Yes, of course.
And we were told that a child who died and wasn't baptised went to limbo.
Oh, yeah.
And would never see God.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine telling a mother that the child...
But
how cruel was that, Rowan?
Absolutely. It was even worse when apparently God himself told his own family, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, to hightail it off to Egypt because Herod was going to murder all the babies.
Yeah.
But didn't bother
Yeah.
telling the neighbours so they could save their children.
I never thought of that.
Think about it. It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. The God of love
Yeah.
being part of
Yeah.
that, I really don't know.
Never thought of that one.
So you were talking to a friend of mine, Margaret. Who's that?
Margaret Herdman.
Margaret Herdman.
Yes.
How is she?
She's grand now. She'd have flew over Christmas, but she's okay. She said
Oh,
she's
yeah.
going on a long journey.
I'm going on a long
Yes, she
journey.
didn't say where.
My goodness.
And she said you have to mind your back.
Well, my back is I do have a constancy of back problems, but Margaret is the person Margaret Herdman is a Welsh woman, yeah?
Yes.
And she is a spiritual medium, and she's a person who purports and demonstrates that she can actually take messages to people that are of some consequence. And she had that influence, all right, in one or two people I know, and that seemed to be the thing, without a doubt. So, when you say your prayers and close your eyes, if you do, what kind of God are you praying to? What do you see? How do you sort of visualize
I feel,
a God
Rowan,
thing?
meditation is the key to everything,
Yeah.
right? You've got to go into silence. You can't connect if you are in the rat race all the time. Meditation is your escape mechanism, is your route into meeting or connecting with the divine. I don't see things, Rowan. I'm very much into the angels. The angels are very much with me, and they're there all the time. How do I connect?
We have an angel prayer. O angel of God,
my guardian
my
dear.
guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here, ever this day,
be at my side,
to light and guard,
to rule and guide.
Amen.
Amen.
That's acceptable, isn't it?
I don't say that one. Funny enough, actually,
No.
now that you remind me of it. No, I just, whatever I want to say to them, I say.
Yeah.
Nobody can dictate to you or tell you what words to say when you are speaking.
Is the
to
angel the
angels.
same? Is the angel a transient spirit, a transient energy? The angel as well is moving through the sphere of the world.
Yes, the angels also are evolving.
Yeah, evolve, that's what
yes,
I'm saying. Yeah.
They need us as much as we need them.
Right.
Because depending on how well they do their work with us, they evolve spiritually as well.
Yes.
They're going up, all the archangels were lower, if I can say lower form angels before, were all elevating, we're all going up, ascending, yes.
Wow, I see.
Your guardian angel, Rowan, is very, very powerful. You believe in your guardian angel, do you?
I don't. I believe.
There's a bit of doubt in there.
No, I believe. I'll tell you what I believe.
Yeah, tell me.
I believe in the power of good.
Okay, and where does that good come from?
I believe that the power of good comes from the creator of the amphitheater within which I operate.
Right, okay.
And I think when I cannot say that it's an angel, but I know what's good and I know what's wrong. And I know to walk that path is the right thing to do, and to walk that path is the wrong thing to do. I sense on that pathway I am supported.
Okay, and do you feel that support around you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I do, of course.
When you've made some big decisions in your life, Rowan, have you never felt that it wasn't actually you who made the decision? That there was a sort of a gathering of forces around you, greater than you, who are making this decision for you, or taking it from your hands and doing that for you?
I've made some very bad decisions.
No, there's no such thing as a bad decision, Rowan. There's no
I hope
such
you're
thing.
right. Yeah.
No, because we're always in the right place at the right time, and there's no such thing as a mistake. A baby starts to walk, Rowan, right? And it falls all over the place. You don't say, oh my goodness, he's made a mistake, do you?
No, you don't.
It's part of the process.
Part of the process.
There is no mistake.
Yeah.
No matter what action is done that you say that's awful or terrible, it's all part of the process of us going back to spirit. There's no such thing as a mistake or getting something wrong. We cannot do wrong. And in the angels' eyes, we are perfect. We can do no wrong in the eyes of the angels. The angels don't see you as Rowan Hand. They see you as the beautiful spiritual being that you are beneath the physical body.
Yes.
A spark of the divine. We're all a spark of the divine.
My goodness.
Right?
A
And we can do no
divine.
wrong in the eyes of the angels. And that is why we should, remember I spoke to you last day about those 3 words, I love you.
Yes, yes.
The angels are the epitome of those 3 words, I love you. Because they don't see us as the physical failures that we are in some cases, right? They see us as the beautiful spark of the divine, which can do no wrong. And if we could just see each other as sparks of the divine, there wouldn't be any wars in the world.
No, there wouldn't.
There wouldn't be any aggression or any envy or hatred.
No.
And that's what we've got to do, to spread those 3 words, I love you, one at a time, and get around the world like that.
I love you.
Even, Rowan, if you were being executed by one of these Islamic, they're
bless us.
awful, you know. What would be your last thought, do you think? If you were kneeling down there and you were about to be executed, what would you like to think would be your last thought, Rowan?
I have thought about
I'm going to
this.
kill him. Was that what you'd say?
Well, I wouldn't be on my knees for a start. I would engage with the person
okay.
and make sure that that there would be a consequence to what he was planning to do to me. May only be a shallow consequence.
But you know you're going to
Oh yes, you're going to die.
get it, yeah. And
What would my last thought
such
be?
a horrible death, Rowan. That's not just an ordinary quick shot in the head.
I can't even think about it.
What would you like to think you would do?
What would I like to think I'd do?
Ask him for a hug?
Not in 10 million years. I wouldn't be able to do that and wouldn't want to do that.
You wouldn't want to do that?
No, not at all.
But that's what you have to do, Rowan.
Really.
Well, you know, by sending him out thoughts of hatred and revenge and anger, you're not helping anything. You're only adding the toxic fumes that are out there already.
Well,
you can only disarm him
Yeah.
by pure and unconditional
And you've tried
love.
everything else. Everything else doesn't work. So maybe, miraculously, an outreach of
But you
love.
haven't tried the right thing.
That's what I'm saying. If you
Yes.
go for an outreach of
Yeah.
love, that may countermand and counterbalance his lack of love.
Yeah. You can only dissipate his anger and disarm him with unconditional love. Because remember, he is eating up inside. There's something eating up. And so, you know, he needs You can't say to him, well, stop this and I'll love you. It doesn't work that way. It's unconditional love,
No,
Rowan.
yeah.
I would like to think if I was about to be executed,
Yeah.
that I'd like to think that, Rowan, whether I would or not. You know, it's great to say it, but if you're in the circumstances. But it's the only way we can dissipate that anger and that hatred. Because they're
see
full of
that.
hatred, Rowan.
Oh, yeah.
Hatred is their problem. They're full of hatred. And how do you dissipate hatred? With love. That's all you can do.
Hold that thought. I want to talk about this when we come back.
Yes.
This is amazing. We're going to take a break now, and we'll be back momentarily to you.
Destination. You've reached your destination. Go!
Say goodnight, not goodbye. You will never leave my heart behind. Like the path of a star, I'll be anywhere you are. In the spark that lies beneath the coals, in the secret place inside your soul, keep my light in your eyes. Say goodnight, not goodbye. Don't you fear when you dream is never what it seems. Like a jewel, very deep, like a promise meant to keep. You are everything you wanna be, so just let your heart reach out to me. I'll be right by your side. Say goodnight, not goodbye. Just let your heart reach out to me. Keep my light in your eyes. Say goodnight, not goodbye. Say goodnight, not goodbye.
You've reached your destination.
I'm with, it's the Destination Early in the Morning program. I'm Rowan Hand, and this is Eileen McCourt, the writer and the, how do I describe you? A spiritual person or a medium or what?
Oh, no, not a medium.
Not a
no,
medium.
No.
Spiritual?
I'd like to think I'm a spiritual person, yes.
Well, that's fair enough. Let's do the affirmations in your book.
Okay.
I am affirmations. I'll start. I am that I am that I am.
It's a very complicated one.
It
It means
is,
that I am
of
a
course.
combination of everything
Yep.
that I am.
And
I
you're?
am light.
I am truth.
I am divine essence.
I am the divine made manifest.
I am perfect health.
I am abundance.
I am eternal love.
I am divine creation.
I am divine wisdom.
I am the breath of life.
I am unconditional love.
I am one with the source.
I am divine light in
I-
human form.
I am divine will.
I am in my violet flame.
I am strong.
I am gratitude.
I am peace.
I am perfect design.
I am one with the source of all life.
I am.
You see, with that, nothing can take you out.
No, that means I am. That's my divine.
Yeah.
I am presence. I am a spark of the divine. I am the Christ consciousness. I am a spark of the divine.
So none of this journey to the source excludes the reality of a Christ who was good.
No.
Was he on a journey as well, as far as the source is concerned?
Jesus Christ is one of the ascended masters, a very, very highly elevated, on the same journey as we were on. The two, Jesus Christ and Kuan Yin, are the two ascended masters,
Yes.
Lord Melchizedek.
Oh,
They're
I've heard this
highly-
before. Melchizedek.
Yes,
I once
Melchizedek.
knew a woman who ditched me and went off to look for Melchizedek. Oh, goodness gracious.
You could be Melchizedek reincarnated, Rowan, now that you mention it.
I tell you, but I mean, that was a particular moment. Yeah, so I'm looking at this wonderful thing here.
Yes,
This
that's
image.
beautiful.
What's the source of this image? Tell us about it.
The man who took that photograph is a very good friend of mine, a very highly evolved spiritual entity, being, right? And he does, he looks for sacred photographs now. He goes out to look for photographs, especially at dawn, at sunrise.
Yeah.
And he took that about 3 weeks ago.
Where was this taken?
Near Hilltown,
And it's
Adam?
dawn, sun, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are, dare one say, concealed images, but if you look carefully, you see them.
Oh, they're there for everybody to see.
They
It's
are.
beautiful, yes.
There's a sword. The sword is, this is
Obviously
in the
Michael
sky
is-
above
yes.
Hilltown. St. Michael's sword. And the angel Michael is behind. I can see his head, I can see the left wing,
Yes,
I can
yeah.
see the right wing in the sky. And then I see the line of bright yellow across the horizon.
Yeah.
And then I see the shape of an eagle. The head of an eagle,
Yeah.
the wing, the spread wings of the eagle.
That's
I
the
see
diva of
there.
the valley.
The which?
The diva?
The diva of the valley.
The diva is the overriding, if you like, person or entity
Yeah,
in charge of the
absolutely,
valley,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
They don't look like humans. They look
Yeah.
like maybe eagles or turkey. You see the way
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
positioned there?
yeah.
But if you can see the photograph further down, you can see the valley. If I continue that, but I just cut it
Oh,
off
yeah,
there,
yeah.
you can see the valley down there.
Uh-huh.
But look, the sword is clearly
Oh,
visible.
absolutely,
That is
absolutely.
definitely Archangel Michael. There's no doubt about
Now,
that.
why would the Archangel Michael be bothered presenting like this to us at this
Because
time?
the person who took that photograph asked for help before he took it, right? And he didn't see that in the sky at the time, but when he developed it, that's what came out for him. He asked for help before he took that.
And yeah, that's amazing.
And that is the cover for my next book, and it's the cover for the CD that's coming out in about 2 weeks' time.
We need to talk to that man as well on the program sometime. It'd be lovely to have him in on the program so that he could tell us about his work.
I'll ask him, yes.
I think that
can
would
I
be
just,
nice.
if you know, his, can I
Oh, yeah,
call
do,
out his website?
do, yes.
His name is James Devlin, and of course there is copyright with this. And if you want to see more of his work, and if you want to see that in a bigger version close up, if you go into www.imagisticsniphotography.co.uk, you can see that, exactly what you're looking at here.
My
It's
goodness.
beautiful. And you can clearly see the sword. There's no,
you
there's no
can
mistake about
hold
that.
it there from a distance. Now, turn it to me there for a minute.
Turn it to you.
Yeah, I'm seeing the
Yeah.
image there. Yeah.
And you can see the diva of the valley under it, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
See, it's the same when you take photographs. There's a lot of orbs are coming out now in photographs. You know what orbs are,
I do,
don't you? Yeah.
yeah.
You know, you don't see them when you're taking the photograph, but when you develop them, the orbs are there. They're very strong spiritual signs.
Yeah.
And you asked me, why would Michael do that? Because, Rowan, we're moving very, very, very fast at the present time, at this stage in our development, right? Since 2012, things have really been speeding up a lot, right?
Why is 2012 significant?
Because of the realignment of all the planets that happened in 2012,
Is that a
December.
scientific statistic?
Yes, it
Did
was-
the planets line
Yes,
up? I
they
should
did.
know, I'm
it
sorry.
was the ending of a 26,000-year cycle. And what happened there was the way the planets lined up, just the same way as you have an aura, that's your energy field around you, every planet, every star has an aura, right? Now, the Earth's aura would be very, very wide,
Yes.
right? And the way the planets were lined up, the energy of Earth was in the other energies as well. If you know, they were all combined.
Yes.
And therefore, the energy of Earth was elevated, was raised a lot because of all the other celestial energies. And that's why there are a lot more energies coming in now to the Earth's atmosphere, which weren't available before. We're moving very, very quickly. Everything is speeding up
And why is that
because of that
happening?
new energy coming in, all those new energies. The unicorn energy is back, which had disappeared for a while, because the way the gap between our dense energy here on Earth and the higher, brighter, lighter vibrations has decreased.
So heaven
Is nearer. Yeah.
brighter, lighter.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we want. But that's what we
Yes.
aspire to,
Yes,
really.
that's it.
Yeah.
And what's happening here, I think what's happening here is the archangels and the angels and all the celestial beings are using whatever means they can use to get through to us. And that is one example of just that.
Yeah.
They're
And
using whatever they can do, they're getting through to us.
What do you think their rationale is in wanting to get through to us?
To help us to raise our spiritual consciousness.
And why do they want to do that?
Because that is their mission, that is their job.
Who has given them that job?
Infinite Spirit,
Infinite Spirit?
yeah.
Whence comes Infinite Spirit? Where did the Infinite Spirit come from? Or what is his genesis?
The totality of everything that is, ever has been and ever will be. That is Infinite Spirit.
Is Infinite Spirit the Creator God?
Yes.
There you got it.
As in creation of forms of energy, but within that form of energy we evolve from the whatever we evolved from the apes. It's all energy, just taking different forms. He didn't create humans, I don't believe, like you and I didn't create that. Because if you look back at old photographs, human beings don't look like us in earlier centuries. They don't, they're different. You know, we evolved from some form of, what would you say, maybe primeval
Perhaps.
form of life, yeah.
Perhaps.
Monkeys, apes, wherever we came
well,
from.
that's what Darwin said. But,
Yeah.
that's contested,
Yes.
of course, but who knows?
Well, you don't think that the first humans or whatever they were on Earth looked like us, Ron, do you?
Well, couldn't have done.
They couldn't have done.
No. Of course.
you
Well, I
see-
mean, the creationists would say they did. You know, these other fellows.
But it makes sense that we have evolved as, you know,
I
different
think
forms
so.
of energy.
To me, it
Yeah.
does certainly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second book is nearly complete.
Oh no, Ron.
Oh, no.
I've had to put on the shelf for a while because in the same way when I started to do this, I felt all these forces around me, a web gathering
Yeah,
around me
yes.
to get that book out.
Yes.
And it was got out in 3 weeks, right?
goodness.
And the same thing is happening now. There's a web of forces around me that are compelling me and urging me to get the CD out. It'll be done next week. And the CD is called Celestial Healing. It is simply exercises and healing for those who want to meditate and get the healing out. I bring through the Christ consciousness and the Mother Mary energy and the energy of the unicorn and a beautiful healing with 11 of the archangels with whom I work.
My goodness.
Michael, Gabriel.
Don't mention Melchizedek.
No, Melchizedek isn't an angel.
Oh, he's not?
No, he's an ascended master.
He's an ascended
Yeah.
master.
And I use Raphael, comes in the green ray, the patron saint of, or the archangel of healing. Uriel brings
yes.
peace and tranquility.
Yes.
Gabriel is your communication skills and inspiration and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. Michael, of course, is the protection. Michael is also healing. People forget about Michael. He heals as well. He
Mm.
doesn't just protect. I bring in Aniel, who helps us see ourselves as the perfect creatures we are and to love ourselves. Who else do I bring in? Shamuel, who opens up your heart chakra with unconditional love at a personal level and a cosmic level. Metatron, right? Who energizes your chakras and fills your body with light energy to the maximum your body can carry. And who else? Who are the other ones? Oh, Zadkiel, the violet flame, right? Does this mean anything to your own? No, you're looking perplexed.
But at the same time, I appreciate enthusiasm. I appreciate your journey and your discoveries. I appreciate those.
Well, you do believe in the archangels, don't you? I mean, they're in the Bible, they're everywhere. Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael.
For me, the Beano is as significant as the Bible, I'm bound to say. I really don't
Dennis
have
the
these.
Menace, yeah.
I have these things. Listen, thank you for coming in.
You're very welcome, it's my pleasure.
And we want you to, when you have the next book in this form, please do come to us again.
I would love to, Rona, yes.
Thank you so
you
much.
very
You're
much.
very, very
and Happy
kind.
New Year to you.
And you too, Eileen. Eileen
Thank you.
McCourt, a spiritual person with a channel almost for the goodness that's coming through in the book. Agree with her or disagree with her, the one thing you must certainly do is take note of the message that's coming through.
Thank you, Rona.
And the best compliment you can give Eileen, and yourself perhaps, is to have a look at it. Throw it up in the air and examine it, and see what it is, and see where it takes you. That's us at the end of the programme, would you believe? Look, we're almost out of time. Can you believe it's gone that quickly?
I know.
We'll say farewell to the people together, shall we?
We will, yes.
We wish you well, and as my friends in Africa would say to you, whatever happens when you've done your best and can do no more, don't hurt yourself. Don't cause yourself worry. Just rest your head in your hand, the African fellow will say to you, and leave it to God, whatever God you believe in. Does that sound all right?
That's lovely. That's lovely,
You'll
Rowan.
go with
Yeah,
that?
that's lovely. Yeah.
And I'm back with you tomorrow morning, live again at 7:30. Do join me then. Cheerio. All the best to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.